these kids, they want to stay with us. I just say yes. We learn to be more detached in some areas, and it really does make for a fuller and richer life, because most of these guys are young or younger than us. So we get enriched by listening to them, and what they get from us, well, they get the far north experience.
It was an amazing time, probably the best year of my life there, and they treated me like whānau, and they just opened up their house to me, and their hearts and their minds, and I was just like a sponge soaking it up, Yes, I'm eternally grateful to Anah and Cornelius, and they are dearly beloved friends of mine, family.
We treat them like family, when they come, or I hope that's what they get out of it. I hope that there'll be some good memories for people, not just about me, but about us and what we did together. I'd like to introduce you to my family. Here we have my great-grandfather. It's Hete Te Hara, and he was painted by Lindauer. Yeah, sometimes I feel like he's with me in a way. If I wanted to scare any of the boys that were interested, we just show them a picture of Hete, and they think twice about their behaviour, actually. I was with my ex-husband one day, and we were having a look around the far north. We pulled up outside a sign that said Cornelius Van Dorp, and I thought, oh, it sounds like one of the monkeys out of Planet of the Apes.
He didn't know at the time was that his wife was later to become my wife. But it wasn't really until Anah became a Baha'i, right, when she separated with Tony, and then about a year after that, we'd always maintained our friendship, but then we recognised that there was maybe a little bit more to it than a friendship, and we really loved each other. She had become a Baha'i by then, but I was still a little bit resistant to being in any religion. For many years, I decided I was never going to get married. And then when I met Anah, well, it sort of changed my mind a little bit.
Cornelius wasn't then a Baha'i, and I really hadn't told him much about the faith at all.
I wanted to marry her, and then she wanted to have a Baha'i wedding, and I thought, okay, all right, I'll do this, not a problem. So we decided to have a Baha'i wedding in Rarotonga.
Johnny Frisbie, she's from Puka Puka Island. She lived in New Zealand for a long time and had a lot to do with establishing weaving hui throughout all the maraes in New Zealand. Yeah, she's very cool. Anyway, she was our marriage officiator. When we got out to the Cook Islands, Johnny Frisbie was looking after Tom Davis's house.
His house was had quite a library of Baha'i books. So I spent my honeymoon reading Baha'i books. The particular aspect that drew me in was a recognition of the Baha'i world order as something that could heal the whole world. And it had a lot of aspects about it that I'd long thought were really good ideas.
It didn't take him long that he was just blown away, you know. The intelligence of the man really got what the faith was about, so that's when he became a Baha'i. This is my grandmother here, and my great-grandmother, and my grandmother's two sisters, Olga, Eska and Vanessa. My grandmother there, my great-grandmother, Letitia. I acknowledge both sides of my family and all the different bloods that I have. So these are my parents here, Jane and Carl Wada. Jane, her family name was Waterson, and Carl is Carl Wada from well, they're both from Rotorua now, but Carl was from Kaikoi up here in the far north, and so that's where I get my Māori blood from. And my mum, her parents were farming folk and they travelled around a lot. They were sheep farmers, so she likes to think of Port Waikato as her home, but she was born in New Plymouth, and yeah, their story was a pretty sad story actually. In the beginning, Mum was disowned by her parents, who wouldn't give their consent for her to marry my father because they didn't want her to marry a Maori. They were prejudiced, and that lasted right throughout our childhood, and we didn't get to meet our grandfather until my older sister was 18. So that was a lot of years to carry that. My auntie, Dinah Francis, who was a writer, wrote the story To Love a Māori, and it was made into a movie in the 1970s, and we all went to see that as part of our schooling back in the 70s. So my mum and dad don't like to talk about it very much, but I actually grew up with racial prejudice really close, so close that I didn't even have anything to do with my own grandfather. Children are the most valuable treasure a community can possess, and we also have a junior youth class for age 12 to 15, and we view that period of children's lives as really important. They're looking and searching for truth, and we want and have been making available to them ways in which they can maybe think about problems that might come up in their lives and good ways to deal with those problems, seeking solutions for everyday living, that kind of showing them the benefits of thinking not just of themselves but for everyone. So yeah, we like to think that we're making a difference, and you know, I certainly wish I was Baha'i youth. The world might be a different place now if I was.